Welcome to the Healing Energy Collective, a space for mindfulness, embodiment, and healing. I'm Scarlett Chang, and today we're exploring self love. Love isn't something you have to earn, achieve, or find outside of yourself. Instead, we'll explore self love as a return, a remembering of the goodness that has always been here. Many of us carry a quiet, persistent belief that we're not enough, that there's something missing, something wrong, something that needs fixing. This belief often lives beneath the surface, shaping the way we move through life. It can make love feel like something we have to prove ourselves worthy of, something just out of reach. But what if, instead of chasing love outside of ourselves, we turned inward? What if we created a home within our own body, within our own breath? What if self love wasn't about becoming something more, but remembering who we already are? In order to explore self love, I'd like to examine the core wound of unworthiness. It describes the quiet, unconscious way we can go through life feeling as though we are fundamentally not enough, as if we have to prove ourselves before we can be loved. This belief doesn't appear out of nowhere. It forms over time through our early experiences, through the messages we receive from family, culture, and society. Many of us grew up with the idea that love had to be earned. Maybe it came through achievement, through being the good child, through making others happy or people pleasing. Or maybe love felt inconsistent, something that could be given or taken away depending on our behavior. And when we don't feel fully seen, fully accepted, or fully loved as children, we internalize it. We take it to mean that something must be wrong with us, that we are lacking in some way. This is the core wound of unworthiness. It's not something we consciously choose, but something that seeps into our nervous system, our relationships, and our sense of self. And yet, even underneath this belief, something deeper remains, an undeniable goodness. There's a story that illustrates this beautifully. One day, a group of monks noticed a small crack in an old, weathered Buddha statue. For generations, the statue had stood in their temple, its surface covered in layers of clay and stone. No one thought much of it. It was just an ordinary, worn down figure. But as sunlight hit the crack at just the right angle, something unexpected gleamed from within. Curious, the monks began chipping away at the outer layers. With each fragment that fell, more gold was revealed beneath the surface. What they had thought was a simple clay statue was, in fact, a magnificent golden Buddha, one that had been hidden for centuries. The story goes that long ago, in a time of war, The monks covered the statue in clay to protect it from invaders. But over time, the disguise became its identity. The monks who had hidden it were gone, and those who remained had forgotten what lay beneath. This story is a powerful reflection of our own true nature. Throughout our lives, we accumulate layers of self doubt, conditioning, and beliefs that tell us we are not enough. We take on the messages we receive from others, from culture, from painful experiences, and these layers harden around us like clay. We forget the brilliance that lies beneath. But every so often, life creates a small crack, a moment of grace, of awareness, of truth. And if we are willing to look closely, to chip away at the layers, we can begin to uncover what has always been there: our innate worth, our inherent goodness. No matter how much time has passed, no matter how many layers have built up, the gold within us remains untouched. It has never been lost, only hidden. And the journey of self love is not about becoming something new, but about remembering the radiance that has always been there. When we get caught in our thoughts, in the loops of self doubt, we become disconnected from this truth. Our minds tell stories about how we're not lovable enough, not successful enough, not doing enough. And when we live in our minds, we lose touch with our senses, with the present moment, with the felt experience of being alive. This is why coming home to the body is such a powerful practice of self love. Because love is not just an idea, it's a feeling, a presence, a way of inhabiting yourself fully. Instead of looking for love outside of yourself, what happens when you create it inside? When you cultivate warmth, gentleness, and belonging within your own skin? Your breath can be a source of love. Your heartbeat can be a source of love. Your presence, your awareness, your ability to soften. These are all ways of returning to yourself, of creating a home that is safe, steady, and full of love. Before we move into a short practice, I want to share some exciting news. This podcast episode will be releasing a few days before Valentine's Day. I know that this holiday can be difficult for many people, whether you're single, feeling the pressures of being alone, or struggling with heartbreak. If the messaging of this episode resonates with you, I have some good news for you. Later this month, I'll be releasing a very special course that works with discovering the love within yourself, and you're the first to know about it. If this is something you're interested in, please sign up for my newsletter at scarlettchang.com or follow me on social media so you'll be the first to see when it launches. I've been working on it for 2 years, and it's very close to my heart. Now, let's move into a few moments of inquiry. Take a deep breath And if it feels comfortable, close your eyes or soften your gaze. Now imagine yourself as a child, maybe 5, 6, or 7 years old. Picture yourself clearly. What do you look like? Where are you? What is the expression on your face? And now ask yourself this: what did I most long for my parents to see in me? What did I want them to see in me? What was I afraid they saw in me? What didn't I want them to see? Often, our beliefs about ourselves come from these early experiences. If we felt unseen, we might have believed we weren't important. If we felt criticized, we might have believed we weren't good enough. If we weren't heard, we might have believed that our needs didn't matter. But imagine just for a moment that this younger version of you is sitting in front of you now. Imagine looking into their eyes and from the deepest place of your heart, say to them, "You are enough. You always have been. You don't have to do anything to prove your worth. I see you and I love you. I see you and I love you." Let this truth sink in. Let it fill the space where self doubt used to live. And when you're ready, take another breath and gently open your eyes. The practice of self love isn't about forcing yourself to feel a certain way. It's about making space to soften, space to belong in your own body, space to remember the goodness that has always been there. As you move through the rest of your day, I invite you to keep this practice with you. When you catch yourself in self doubt, place a hand over your heart. Take a deep breath and remind yourself, I am enough, exactly as I am. Thank you for sharing the space with me today. If this episode resonated with you, I'd love for you to take this practice into your daily life and share it with someone who might need this reminder. If you're interested in learning more about this work, I invite you to visit my website at scarlettchang.com to sign up for my newsletter or learn how to work with me. Be gentle with yourself and take care.